All right, it's January 2023, and we're basically still in the same spot as we were in December. Looking at the charts here, first looking at the dollar, we have this hardcore push to the downside. A pattern like this usually has to break out to the upside at some point. Tracking it in both directions, we have this can technically be considered a parallel channel if I replace the trend line with one. This is something that I can do with on the coins as well. So I'll just color this one red because it's going down, the other one blue, green, going up, whatever, right? So we're in this circle here on the dollar, and we have this real tight trend line on smaller time frames that we're fighting. I have to readjust it because of me accidentally grabbing it earlier and just how tight it is on a 12 hour. I'm going to give it those just couple hiccups to go over and then bounce back down. It's still wedging under it right there, but we'll go back to the 12 hour on the dollar. We can see that we are in a uptrend parallel channel on RSI with price technically trying to push down. So we have a divergence between price and the RSI here. I personally expect and want to see it past the 382 fib level and hit the 0.5 and then recover and bounce to the trend line here. So if we zoom out far enough, we can see within the Fibonacci retracement, and I'll just make this full screen so we can see the TP here that we are stuck in. So trend line here, stuck in this trend line here coming down. We need to come up and see if we will continue can this be a really long wave? Can we get something like this to get rid of all the noise? Do we have an impulse wave happening where price can continue to the upside, or is it breaking down from looking at it on further time frames where it's a new high and it maybe need to fill in some gaps down here? We have a common support that it may revisit again as well after zigzagging its way into the next year, maybe even take a whole new year to do that. But seeing the dollar break down that far would be kind of scary in my opinion. So we'll just go back here, put this back the way it was, and we'll go into Bitcoin next. Looking at it 12 hour, we have this huge gap right here that I still want to see filled. I still want to see that filled. If we look at my projection triangle, we can see it will adjust itself to scale. So these areas here in price, it will constantly hit, right? So we're seeing it tap and reject. We are getting a cupping motion, and then what we can see is on the Fibonacci retracement of the last move, and that's from this high to this low, we can expect a 618 rejection at 16,800. We got close earlier, but I still think we're going to keep pushing up, make another 12 hour candle, go in tomorrow kind of bullish, maybe even do like today where we open high and spend the day making a wick and then close in the middle, and then just keep kind of making those candles on the way up because we're above price. We have our moving averages. They are set in a way that it should be when it's going up, but we're flat. So it's one of the scariest times when our moving averages look like this, because they're normally you have price and then the moving averages to the right. No matter which way price is going, price is always usually on the right with the moving averages. I'm sorry, price is always on the left with the moving averages on the right if it's going up or it's going down. Price, moving averages. Now we have price, moving averages under us. Under us, we can fall straight through. Under us, we can fall straight through. So it's very possible that we can fall straight through. We're getting weak lows now on our smart money indicator. So it's letting us know that even if we do fall down here, it's not a very strong level of support and we can keep going. So If we move this over to the heat map, we can see the same type of stuff. So just looking at the heat map, we were fighting lots of sell blocks getting made here. These were pink throughout the day, and they've been getting bought and getting bought and getting bought. So lots of buying pressure, just pushing up price without the heat map actually letting us see too much. Just looking at it here, we still have support down at 1600, but we could scoop all the way up to, and just all these orders that were put here to sell could get bought through, or get bought through, just to grab liquidity. And those levels are like in the 1700s, 17.2 areas that we were wanting before. So there's liquidity within these candles that we still need to grab, and we could see the highest rejection around that 18.5 area. So support orders here, rejection orders up here. So it's still, I just could, extend this block if I wanted, because that's where the real gaps are at, and the order blocks are within the imbalances of the candles. So we should expect price to move up. If we can keep seeing the dollar get destroyed a little bit and keep moving to the downside, we will have to see how it goes, with tomorrow being a holiday in the market. So we will see the market moving while other markets trade, and we stay as a holiday and see if maybe money moves into speculative markets with Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's another thing we can look at, as well as Ethereum itself real quick, and see that we have a gap up here to fill as well, but it's going to take a while. We're going to have to get above this point of control first, which is 1214. We're making a lot of support in the 1200 area, but again, we have weak lows and strong highs. So with an equilibrium around 1375 and a rejection point at about, so in this box, it's a 1454 area, it would be somewhere in this gap if we made it into the gap and shot up above. Again, this is 12-hour time frames, and we have our moving averages trying to stay in a uptrend style formation. So sounds like there's a lot of volume coming in, keeping support and getting us to new levels. So maybe we will respect these monthly lows, weekly lows, and daily lows, and then revisit our highs up here. So hopefully that helps y'all see what might be happening throughout the next week or two on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the dollar. And if you need any other coins ran over, just let me know.